he's had a great 2 games. He's the next thing. He's awesome.
This is LA Kings Fan Talk with Rodney, Rob, Darren, Mike, and Joe. All right, boys, it's time to address the Kings' home ice misery. Rob, why do the Kings keep losing at home?
Oh wow. I don't have an answer. I really don't. You can sit there and say, just a little lazy, being at home at the beach, just a little too relaxed. I don't know. Maybe we're just better when other teams match up against us, and when maybe the coach, maybe it's the line matching isn't up to par. I have no clue. Just it is noticeable that we play a little differently, and
Right.
they need to wake up.
I
That's
mean,
for sure.
do we need to put the boys up at the JW Marriott across the street the night before the game or something? I don't
I
know.
I I don't know.
Yeah. Darren, what do you think?
Yeah, I think what Rob said is true. We definitely play differently. I think it also helps or doesn't help that we've had, I think, a slightly stronger opponents at home. Besides the Flyers, I think everyone we've played has been right around the playoff mark versus on the road we've played, guys who are or teams who are maybe fringe playoff teams. We played a couple good teams on the road as well, Vegas and Toronto, but um, the rest of the teams we played on the road have been kind of closer to the fringe than contenders. So that probably doesn't help or hurt us either way. But yeah, we definitely just don't show up to start those games, it seems. And I think that's the problem is the start usually. And we get behind the 8 ball and sometimes it's hard to get out behind it.
Joe, what do you think?
I think it's pure coincidence. Yeah, I don't really. I don't think you can just say that they're bad at home, they're bad away. Well, you can obviously because they've lost games. Point being is, I think I'll echo the same thoughts from the rest of the group. They are playing different at home, but I also don't think that there's any rhyme or reason for it. So um, I will say Rodney's been in a few of the home games so far this season, so I'll put it on him.
They
Yeah,
just
what do you
don't
think?
seem to be playing as good as a team at home, and they're not scoring. So maybe they're. I don't. It makes no sense to me. Other than what everybody talks about are their distractions. Being at home. I don't know.
I like Joe's answer. I tend to agree. There is no. It's coincidence right now. It's too small of a sample size right now. So, or at least I'm hoping. How's that? I'm hoping this is just a coincidence. And
So
I feel like it
go back.
happened last year too, right? Wasn't it the same last year? Didn't we start off like terribly at home to start the season,
Well,
and
they
by the end of the
start
year we
out
were
terribly in general. I
yeah,
think
in general.
last year, the year
yeah.
that they lost the first 6 games, and then won the
Mm,
next 6 games, or was that 2 years ago?
That was last year.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh no,
but
that
either way, like we had a slow start at home specifically. I think it was much worse at home for like 10, 12 games.
last year we lost 3 of our first 4 home games last year.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
feel like it was a similar situation of like we felt like, oh, we can't win at home, we can't win at home. And then by the end of the season, I don't think it was no one made a mention of it. Like it was fine. So I think it's not that big of a deal, but
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. We could be the Edmonton Oilers.
Heyo. All right, so we talked about this on the last show a little bit, talking about the changes to the second and third line. Uh, Obviously, the Kings felt like they had to make a change as well, but they went about it a bit differently than what we talked about. I think we suggested swapping LaFerriere and Kaliev, and instead they swapped Fiala and Kaliev.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first on this? What do you think about these line changes here?
I'll go.
All right.
I think well what McClellan had said is he specifically did it because he just wants more out of Dubois and Fiala. He just doesn't think there's synergy there yet anymore, or he's probably been wanting to change, but
Yeah.
everyone knows as well, if they just follow a team, he will not change lines if we win.
Right.
And we were on a win streak, so we come home, we lose. It's like, okay, now I can do what I've been wanting to do because we've lost finally. And I think it's just exactly what he says. I just want to get people going, and we're going to have to shake things up a little bit. I don't know, like, I don't know if I like Dubois with LaFerriere and Kaliev. I don't know if I like that all too much, but it is what it is. And I think the only reason why he did it is because we finally lost.
Yeah. Agreed.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it obviously has not mattered at all. It hasn't produced results. So that said, it is interesting that Fiala last year you could move him up and down the lineup to get lines going, and now we're doing the inverse. Although I mean, he's still putting up points. So the biggest concern there is the notorious PLD. Uh, where is he? And I'm not a hater yet. I'm rooting
Right.
for the guy. I won't be a hater regardless.
Right.
We're
But
in
at the
this for the
same time, you're
long
paying him
haul.
how much?
No, I just the thing is like it's so frustrating is like when you see the guy play live, he's such a big frame, skates well, opening night. I don't know if he scored the goal opening night or whatever, where you just kind of manhandle a couple people, one hands the puck towards the net. Was that opening night, or maybe it was after that? But
I think it
regardless,
was. I think you're right, Joe. I think it was opening night.
like, yeah, it's disappointing, but at the same time, got a lot of racetrack here, and the Kings are in a good spot. They could be the Edmonton Oilers, but they're not. Um, doing a lot more with lesser talent. Um, but yeah. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. But I don't know. It's weird, like when your fourth line is the one line that you don't want to shuffle up, or think could have negative consequences if you shuffle that up.
Right.
In
Line one
which
and line
case,
four, solid. Darren, what do you think?
I think I echo what Rob said, where it's like this isn't what I would have done, but I also hope he sticks with this for if they're gonna keep LaFerriere on the team, which obviously there's no indication that they're not. Um, I think sticking with this for another game or two just to see if the chemistry builds, because they did that, and I think even the coach said like we haven't had practice, so we don't know how these guys are gonna gel together. And he said we're gonna have a lot of practice these next couple days, so they'll get some time together to see how it works. So I hope he sticks with it for a game or two, but he's also not afraid to change it up again if it doesn't work.
All right, let's talk about some positives here. After 14 games, the Kings are 8-3-3. Still pretty damn good. And Fagemo is back with the organization. Darren, what are your thoughts on Sammy's return, and will he get a shot with the big club before Arby comes back from injury?
I doubt it. I think he's more of a depth guy who I think they're hoping for next year to be a NHLer. If is Lewis, he's only signed 1 year, right, for Lewis. If I think they're hoping that Lewis is a 1 year thing, and then Fagemo can step into that spot, or maybe even a third line role kind of thing. Um, I think it would take how many injuries in front of him. You got Jad, you got Turcotte, and then probably Fagemo. So
Depends what
I
they're
think
looking for.
he's third for injury replacement unless he like really lights up the AHL right now. But I think it was more of a comfortability thing. Like he's their draft pick. They traded up to get him. So I think that's why they claimed him back.
Joe, what do you think?
I don't think he could do anything worse than. I mean, the LaFerriere kid's done well. Looks like an NHL player who's not producing, and not going to crap on him for not producing, particularly because the people around him who are full-fledged NHL players are not.
They're both on our not hot list right
But
now.
I would like to go with the arithmetic of we do not have enough right-handed shots on our team, and that could potentially lead to something positive.
Rob, what do you think?
Yeah. Think lots of things. Fogmo, he's he shoots the puck really, really well. He's right-handed. He's 23 years old. Um, I think who am I thinking of? Martin Kromiak is only 21. He's getting them back just keeps our depth there. It allows a guy like Kromiak another year of getting better in the AHL because Fogmo will be able to fill in for LaFerriere pretty easily. I honestly think Fogmo could be as good as Arvidsson one day. I'm glad he's back because he can shoot the puck. He really can. And he did score with the Rain his
He
first game
did.
back. Yes.
And he was very happy to be back with the Kings organization, both the Kings and the Rain. He's super happy to be back on the Rain. And
Yep. Guess who assisted on his goal?
who was it, Darren?
Clark.
Yeah, Brent Clark.
That's
Thank
right.
you. I want to go off on it's a little still the same subject a little bit because it has to deal with LaFerriere, but it also has to deal with I there's some things that are going on still that I just hate people that stake claim to certain players and you know all the people that were sucking LaFerriere off. It's okay to be wrong about guys. It's okay to be wrong. All right. It's just I hate it when people sit there and say, "Hey, we've won 6 games on the road. We're going to be Stanley Cup champions." Hey, LaFerriere, he's had a great 2 games. He's the next thing. He's awesome for 2 games. It's like, and now here we are. He's the least productive king on the roster right now. England has more points than he does, and England is a third pairing goon. He's the goon on our team.
He's so
And he
hot
has
right now. England's so hot right now.
so all you guys that sit there just fall in love so quickly. Just chill out. So let the boy breathe. And now it's like I I don't want to crap on anybody. I don't want to sit there and say I told you so. I just watch the games and let the guys be the guys, man.
I think the Ferrier, it comes down to two. Like you can be right and still say like he was great for these 5 games and I'm excited for his future, but he's not doing it right now and he could probably be sent down.
Right.
But people are so strong in their convictions of like, no, he's an NHLer. It's like, yeah, he will be an NHLer and he has glimpses. But this happens with every rookie.
Yep.
Like look at every young team.
Connor
Like,
Bedard?
Look
What?
look at no, just look at Byfield. What he's going through.
right.
Everyone
Byfield.
sits there and thinks he's that he's better than Tim Stutzla. I love Byfield, but I'm not dumb enough to say he's better than Tim Stutzla. He's not.
Right. Not right
Hey,
now.
but look at how
Could
many
be.
points he has this year. Stutzel scored 30 goals last year. He is a 30-goal NHL scorer.
Yeah.
So everyone that sits there and just people like to argue, just I don't know, because they like hearing their own voice, sort of like us, I guess, right?
All right, upcoming schedule. Who do we got, Rob?
All right. So last time we talked, we had 5 games coming up. We're talking about the 10 points. Right now, we are 3 games with 3 points. So finishing up those last 2 games, Florida Panthers and St. Louis Blues. Those are both at home. Then we will be going on the road for Arizona Coyotes and the Anaheim Ducks. So we really don't go too far. So our next 4 games, Panthers, Blues, Coyotes, Ducks. I think we could get hot here.
I'm thinking we finally start winning at home and we get all 8 points in the next 4 games. Heard it here first.
I'm with you. I think we get hot. We go 4 in a row.
All right.
Yeah.
Darren, what do you think? How many points?
I think same thing, 8 points. I said last time I said we were going to get 9. That Philadelphia game was disappointment, but if we had, got that game, we'd be right on track for that. But I think it's the kick in the pants we needed, and we're going to get back on track.
Well, Joe's not a follower. There's no way he's going to go with 8. So Joe, how many points we getting in the next 4?
Yeah, not optimistic about the Coyotes or Ducks, so I'll go with like 5 points. I feel like it would be a natural progression for the Kings to win the next 2 home games and then lose horribly against either one of the Coyotes or the Ducks. Probably the Ducks, one of the Coyotes, but I still feel like they'll get a point out of one of those two. Oh no, the Ducks suck too, along with the Oilers.
It's a shame about McTavish because I wanted the Kings to draft him because I really liked him, and now that he's on the Ducks, now I have to hate him. So I
Is he
hate him.
allowed to Is he allowed to not wear a helmet just because his is he grandfathered in? Sorry, you can cut that out.
Random thoughts? Anything? Kopitar looks good in his.
Yeah. So like on the who's hot or who's not, he could have been on there easily. A surprise. That was kind of some.
No, I'm
He
saying
could always be on there.
he's looking good in his neck protection.
Yeah. What's funny is that the neck protectors they're wearing now. It looks like it's the same color as whatever their undershirt is. So it kind of looks like back in the 80s and early 90s when
Alexei Yashin.
Yeah, when players wore turtlenecks.
Right.
So like Wayne Gretzky vibes, and Michel Petit for any of you old schoolers out there. Yashin, yeah. So, reminds me of that. Darren, you can go ahead and look that up on the History Channel when you get a chance.
I'll look it up. That's from when I was like 1 and 2 years old, I assume. So
Yeah.
I'll watch the grainy film on YouTube from back when it was like 480p.
So Alexei Yashin was the guy that I first saw during warmups. Cover a puck with his blade, flip it over, and the puck be on his blade, and then him do the whole lacrosse up and down, flip. He's the first person I ever seen do that during warmups.
Thanks for that memory, Rob, because I was just about to say, last segment of the day, random Kings memories through history. Joe, you're up.
I'm gonna go with I don't know. I'm gonna go with like a vague memory of John Sim getting interviewed uh, outside of the ring while the warm-ups were going on, and I just wanted to say John Sim.
Well, you did it. Congratulations. Darren, random Kings memory throughout history. What do you got?
I got another one. R.I.P. Roman Czechmonic.
Wow.
He was before my time, but R.I.P.
All right.
Thanks for taking a happy segment and turning it to the dark side there.
You're welcome.
Yes, shout out to Roman. He did good. He did decent for us. That what season and a half he was with us. Yeah. All right, let's start this again for Rob. Rob, random Kings memory throughout history. What do you got?
All right. It'll be our memory.
Oh, I love this one.
Brett Hull
Yes.
walking up, double fisted, has a beer in each hand and stops you and I to ask where Morton Steakhouse is at.
Because he's going to meet Luke Robitaille there,
Because
right? That was awesome.
he said, Lucky told me it's right down the street, and he's out there wandering downtown LA with 2 beers in his hand.
Yeah, 3 sheets to the win, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
Did
that
you at
was
least
awesome.
ask to take a sip off of one of his
No,
beers?
but when I went to reach to shake his hand, he put 1 beer underneath his arm and absolutely crushed my hand when he shook
So
it.
we both shook his hand. We both said we're never washing our hands again. Sure enough, this is what my hand looks like now. But still, it was still worth it. You know what I mean? So good times. I'll throw one out there for you guys. And this, man, who was with me? It might have been Joe. It might have been Rob. You guys might have been.
I
there,
already
but-
know what you're gonna say.
Do you?
I already know. Frozen Fury.
No. We'll say that for the next time. But check this one out. This is in the forum. It was at the
I
forum.
wasn't with you.
Okay, maybe it might be before you guys' time. I don't know. This is at the forum.
I went to the forum, but not with you.
Larry Robinson was the coach of the Kings at the time. I can't remember who we were playing, but the camera on the jumbotron zoomed in on this girl right on the screen. I think she's wearing like a leather jacket. She's right on the glass. Camera zooms in on her. She flashes the crowd, and everybody's like standing up cheering, and then they pan over to like Larry Robinson. He's like red. He's like laughing. Everybody on the bench is like, It was an awesome Kings memory for me. Hot girl flash in the crowd. Can you
Good
top that?
times. Good times.
Yeah.
No, I want to add the one that I thought you were going to talk about.
Let's hear it.
Frozen Fury 2003. I think Rob was there too. We're all at the MGM Grand Circle Bar, and like, oh hey, there's Jim Fox, and we start talking to him, and I don't even know what the hell we were talking about, but he full on told
You talking about when the girls are walking by?
yeah.
Yeah,
some
let me
girls
do the
walked
part right
by.
before you say it. So these 2 girls are walking by as we're having a conversation with Jim Fox,
Yeah,
and the girls go, Jimmy, and what does he say, Joe?
said, hold on, keep your panties on. I'll be with you in a second.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was good times. Good old Jimmy Fox.
Why we love him.
Yep.
He wouldn't like us to air that, but
Yeah.
you should air that.
All right, Kings fans.
Trust me, no one's watching, Joe. No one's watching.
Maybe his wife is. You never know.
All right, Kings fans, that's our show for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and cross-check that notification bell. Until next time, stay classy and go Kings, go!
Oilers
Go
suck.
Kings.
Brother, son.